Welcome back to Maniacal Music Musings once again. I'm your host, Jeremy, and I'm here with the Children of the Grave. Don't worry, though it is hip to be squared, I will say. Scared. Fucking autocorrect. No one stands against us musers as we're eating jambalaya on the bayou, of course. Later on, we'll be setting the woods on fire with that muser anti-venom gas. It comes in handy, I'll tell you. My co-host, so ladies and gentlemen, has long gone lonesome blues he sings about as he sits in the forest telling the children his ghostly confessions. He tells them all to say farewell to your flesh and get your funeral derangements in order because this will be the worst vacation of your life. Welcome to Horrorwood, he says, as he's not like you, and he'll tell you, I'm so lonesome I could cry. Chancy motherfucking Grife, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
See, she was laughing before you did that because she knows my humor. And that's right, folks. We have a guest that you will all recognize this week. What up, Lonnie? Glad to see you watching, buddy. But our guest this week, well, based on that name, you might know, is my co-host from the Asylum with Harley and Joker, Miss Harley or Quinn herself. Hello, my
What is
dear.
up, everybody? Hello, Amanda.
And who the hell let you out of your pad cell? That's my question. God damn it! Gotta get a new fucking security guard. Did Batman beat him up again? Jesus Christ. But we are here, as always, folks, to talk music, not the Asylum craziness tonight. Well, I mean, there's always a little bit of that, but not fully that tonight like normally when you see the two of us together. Oh, Amanda bribed the guard. That explains shit. Shit,
Well,
you
she's
didn't have to
got
bribe.
boobs, so she don't have
I'll
to
just say,
bribe.
I've seen her. I don't. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to bribe shit. So, but we are here to talk about three albums as always, and some different albums tonight, folks. So let's get this motherfucking party started already because it's gonna be a fun one. Harley, what album did you bring, and why did you want to bring it?
Oh my! So I am a huge Ice Nine Kills fan. Oh my God, blank brain tonight. And so I brought Welcome to Horrorwood because that is my favorite album.
Hmm. Oh, I will say, I've heard of Ice Nine Kills. I've seen them on enough concert posters over the years to fucking know who they are, but I never actually gave them a shot. I just put them in that miscellaneous metal band folder and never touched them. So I have to fucking say I was kind of pleasantly surprised that they were actually decent. I didn't expect them to be, honestly, because it's newer metal and newer metal is But they were actually good. They were actually good. I mean, they remind me of a combination of like three other bands that I can't fucking think of. But they remind me of they're trying to be too many different people. That's the only complaint I have about them. They're trying to pretty much bring Manson and Slipknot into one along with like two other bands, and I just can't. No, it's like an abomination of metal, almost in a way, but one that's somewhat acceptable. I definitely got a top five and a few honorable mentions, so I enjoyed it, and definitely some elements of some songs I fucking loved. But overall, just I felt like they're like we know how to do music good, but we can't put it in an order that flows well. We just have lack of
Well,
organizational skills.
see, their concert presence is. Me and Amanda went and saw them in concert, and they put on a really, really, really good show. And his wife is the murder victim of every one of his shows, every one of them. And well, Spencer, that's the lead singer, and she's hot as hell, anyways. So
But she's a murder victim. How's she at every show?
because they
kind of
kill her.
breaks.
Like in every song, you'd have to watch the videos to understand. Every song, someone dies, and it's her who dies in every one of his songs.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I mean, it ain't no concept album. I'll give you that fucking shit. It ain't no concept album, but unfortunately. But Chante, what did you think of the Ice Nine kills?
So I thought that there was some pretty cool like vocals to it. I liked some of the gutturals; those were pretty cool. I don't know. For me, it kind of felt kind of like something that like scene girls and or the simps that are trying to get with the scene girls would kind of listen to. I just couldn't get into it. It's definitely better than Jeremy's album, which is also saying something. But like,
No
I
offense, Jeremy, I couldn't really get into your album either.
yeah, yeah. I when I realized that it was something I wasn't actually going to be able to get into, I was just kind of looking at it from a more technical angle. Like, oh hey, I like this. I like this. Um, when I drop my top 5, I'll give my biggest critique as far as the one thing I didn't like. I specifically put it on my top 5 so I could talk about it. But like, I mean, it's better than Jeremy's album.
It's not gonna be the name of this episode, Chance. No matter how times you say it, it's not gonna be the name of the episode. It's for the God. And even Amanda agrees they're not for everyone. But
Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, I've got a few bands like that as well.
a few, yeah, a few.
Yeah, a few.
Several. But Harley, what were your top 5 off of Heartwood?
Okay, so my number 5 is the funeral derangements. Number 4 is Ex Mortis. Number
Nice.
3 is Hip to Be Scared. Number
Okay.
2 is Welcome to Horrorwood. And my number 1 is the shower scene. And like I have honorable mentions. It's Worst Vacation and Fly. But because the shower scene is based off of Psycho,
Right.
and that is my
Obviously.
favorite one. Like in the concert, they actually have the shower curtain, and he goes behind the shower curtain and murders her, and there's like blood splatter going everywhere. Because I like the shower scene more than Hip to Be Scared.
It's well, shit, Amanda, be prepared to be surprised. Because I mean, I had 4 honorable mentions for the CD. I did get into it somewhat, but just couldn't get into the whole thing as a concept. Just couldn't. But the individual songs, once I took them individually and didn't try to put them in together, like I expected this band to kind of, based on what I read, I thought it was gonna be like a concept album, but I apparently was mistaken. But first honorable mention was Welcome to Horrorwood because it was a pretty good intro track and it was pretty solid. I like bands that do the intros like that. So number 8 was Funeral Derangements just because it was alright. It was alright. Number 7 was Take Your Pick because that was actually not bad. The guitar in that was fucking incredible. Number 6 was Farewell to Flesh because that's right up my alley. That's right up the songs all my artists will do. So number 5 was Worst Vacation because it almost was like, what if Weird Al went emo? So that's kind of why I went with that. But number 4 was Assault and Batteries because I love my wife. My wife is now watching the Chucky TV series. I started watching it, but then podcast editing got in the way, so I kind of lost it. But in the beginning, the Andy, time to play, motherfucker! I love that shit. That made me laugh my ass off. So Number 3 is Ex Mortis because that song's incredible. Number 2 is Fly because that song's incredible. But the number one, and Amanda, you're right. Number 1 is 100% Hip to Be Scared because one, Jacoby Shaddix is fucking amazing. So anything he's in, I will fucking love. And two, the little sample in the middle of it from Hip to Be Square, I fucking love that sample in that. That I wasn't expecting it. It fucking blew me away. Like, I love that fucking song. I love that original fucking song. So the fact that the fact they paid homage to it is pretty fucking uh funny. So I enjoyed that immensely. And I'm guessing I either just hit him with chance he was going to critique, and I said I loved what he's going to critique. I'm assuming.
I said I would recommend that whoever this Amanda person is, that they probably have themselves a sit down, and they better hang on to something because they're about to not enjoy the day. My number 5 was actually Hip to Be Scared because of the fact that I found this to be a literal audio holocaust. Like, we're talking a motherfucking war crime. It's like every fucking problem that I have with this song was checked off like the Geneva checklist. Fucking the fact that they made a song about American Psycho means that they did not understand anything about American Psycho. It's like, oh, I'm so cool and I'm a killer guy, but it's all about the 80s and how awful. It's like literally Patrick Bateman's a fucking representation of the 80s in the 80s doing 80s shit, i.e. cocaine and stripper bitches. It's satire at its best. But my number 4 was Ex Mortis, which I thought was pretty cool. I definitely liked my 4 through 1 specifically. Number 3 is Farewell to Flesh. Number 2 is Funeral Derangements, and number 1 was Take Your Pick. And I definitely dug the guitar part in that. That was pretty fucking awesome. But yeah, fucking Hip to Be Scared. I heard that shit and I was like, come on, man. Especially with Jacoby.
Yeah, Amanda says a chance. I mean, not everyone can be right. So, there's that.
It's really, it takes up so much of my day. I honestly don't know how to time manage the amount of times that I'm right. It's really tough. I should really get an assistant,
Isn't that why you have Casey?
No, she's not an assistant. Well, I mean, a technical assistant anyway.
So yeah, I mean, for a band that wants to be Marilyn Manson, Korn, and Slipknot all thrown into one, they're not bad. And I think they even want to be Papa Roach too. I think that's why they brought Jacoby on. But because one of those songs, I forget which one, but one of those songs 100% sound like a Papa Roach song. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was because I listened to the CD first yesterday. But it just. I don't know. They're not horrible. I mean, I was looking at the rest of their album covers and I'm like, all right, you know what? Their album covers fucking look amazing. But I've been fooled before by album covers. I've been fooled before. So I'm like, I don't know. We'll wait and see if anybody else brings them on at some point. I'm sure somebody will. Somebody always does. What have we had? 2 U2 albums now, for fuck's sake? So.
Yeah, I think so.
God help us all. And I think there's a U2 song on the next Rolling Stone bracket. Actually, I know there is, so yeah. It's actually one of the good ones, though. But we'll see when that comes. So, I guess at this barren time, it is my pleasure to bring forth the album I decided to bring tonight. Because, as my co-host, I know Harley. And she told me once that she likes dark rap. So I was like, okay, this is an album I can't just bring with any guest that doesn't know me already because it's just not going to go over well. And I've already tried that kind of thing and had a guest just randomly complain about it and not stop responding. So I don't know Well, I basically was like, all right, at least with Harley, I know I could bring this, and she's not gonna crucify me for it. Crucify me
Yeah,
for
I
it.
shared this album with Amanda.
I may have been wrong about her not crucifying me for this, but whatever. You know, you do shit, you do shit. But I decided to bring one of my favorite albums from about a decade ago, Team Death's "Not Like You," and Team Death is Satanic and Razakel, which both of those artists have been on this show before, and they actually both got pretty high reviews solo. But uh,
They
CA
did. They
loved.
did. No, they did get high reviews solo, but I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what happened here. This is like we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Do your thing, Jeremy. Explain yourself.
Oh, I mean, I basically explained it already. Harley said she likes dark rap, and
All
because
right, Harley.
we're
Let's
we're
hear
talking.
what you think about this monstrosity.
Because I mean, we were talking about ICP one time, and she was like, "That's okay. I like
But
dark
this
rap."
isn't ICP.
And no, I mean, no, they're inspired by ICP, like every hardcore artist is today. But no, Satanic and Rezakel are definitely darker. You don't be a part of a record label called Serial Killing Records without being a little dark. And since they ran the label, they're the kind of darkest people on the label by far. And I mean, Satanic is very high on the. I mean, they talk about some controversial topics, but as I'll get to my top five, some of these discussions need to be had. So, but Harley, I am ready. I have girded my loins. What is your review of Team Death?
I mean, I didn't really get into it, but to each their own. And I mean, I do like ICP, but this was a whole different. Yeah.
See, I thought you would get into it because this is a CD for the outsiders of society. This is a CD for the wolves, not for the sheep. Really? Nothing? All right. Well, Chance the Rapper, what did you think of this brave undertaking?
Well, since Harley came in and played good cop, I'm just gonna be real with you, dude. It was fucking awful. Dude, check this out, okay? I don't know if you can see this or not. It was so fucking bad. It made my fucking pen. It made my pen vomit. It made my fucking pen vomit. All right. It was so fucking bad, dude. It literally reminded me of something that sounded like they had to hurry up and get it done before mom came home so they didn't get in trouble. It's so bad. Like literally you could just about use a metronome and not change one thing about any of the beats in any order of any order of these tracks. It was all the same drivel. And honestly, like out of the whole thing, I mean, I got 3 songs that I liked and fucking 4 just horrific monstrosities that just wanted to talk about bad shit and be bad because they want to talk bad, be bad. Like I does not compute. Fucking tilt. See fucking attendant about quarter. I don't know what to tell you, dude. This shit is bad. Like I almost caught myself saying, I could use some Cottonmouth Kings right now. But then I realized that was how far down we have gone. Oh God, sir.
Mm. I knew bringing in this album that Chancey was going to have either amazingly positive review or just tear it apart. I knew it was going to go one way. It wasn't going to be in the middle. It was going to go one way or the other.
And that's what bothers me is because like they on their own, the albums he brought were good, but like you put them together and it's just like
Well,
like you could literally just hear it all dropping down into the realm of nothingness.
I mean, is Cher better without Sunny or is Cher better with Sunny? I mean, that's the way I look at it.
I don't understand I like literally. Okay, so this makes sense. This makes sense. I now understand why you like it, because that made no sense either. Like,
Well, I mean, at the time when Team Death was a thing, the two of them were running the record label and they were full on dating at the same for years at the same time. So
that makes
that's
sense.
so I mean, and then he pulled that shit that he pulled that shit that we talked about when Casket was on
Right.
how he faked the car accident to get money from
Hmm.
his fans, and that kind of is when they split apart and went separate directions in every aspect. So I mean, Team Death was like their project of love. They did they did two albums and a Christmas album. But and I mean, you think this album was dark? The first one I didn't bring was a lot darker. Literally talking about aborting the baby Jesus in that album. But
No, dude, this one was worse because they talked about doing worse things.
it depends on how you
No,
look at things in life.
there is no depends. There's no depends to it. None. And I will be more than happy to explain when it comes time for it, because I can't, no, you can't say that aborting something would be much better than that fucking, which I am about to describe once it's time to go down the fucking top fucking lists of what's worst to least worst.
We already talked about worstification. But so my first honorable mention was Put It Down, because I mean it's a good like underground rap song, but that's basically all it is.
I was hoping somebody would put me down after listening to this fucking thing.
Things can be arranged, can't he? Things can be arranged.
Don't fucking do me no favors.
But number 7 was so full of hatred. Because
I really was not even like, you're really listing my fuck. It's like the symptoms of grief.
because I mean I can relate to when this album came out, I was a different person. I could very much relate to that song. But number 6 was Anti Venom, just because it's a decent song. Because
They offered it, I declined. I'd rather die.
You're a motherfucker, sir. You are a motherfucker. But number 5 was Not Like You, the fucking title track, because that fucking album was that song was actually fucking pretty damn really amazing. Like I could relate to that freaking song so fucking much back in this time period. And
Sure, back in some other time period.
This album came out in 2011, so I was listening to it probably 2012 to like 2015 hard, and then
No, I'm saying like you could still probably resonate with it, because
not completely, not completely, not anymore. It doesn't have the same effects it used to. But number 4 was a track I don't even remember being on the CD I had, but apparently it got added. But Ghostly Confessions, which I never even heard that track, and that track's amazing. So, and I like the artist who guested on it. I forget his fucking name, and I don't think he's anybody big or that's even known. But
dude, if I would have featured on this album, I would have demanded that they put me under redacted for my own fucking safety.
Yeah. Well, my number 3, of course, I had put it number 3 because there's a couple better songs in it, but it touches on a dark subject, and my number 3 was Playing Columbine, because it touches on this. That started to be a big topic when this album came out, and they wanted to speak on it. They said in interviews, because a lot of their fans were the type of people who would be instantly accused of possibly doing things like this, because of the way they dress, because of the way they act, their antisocial nature. So they put out this song as kind of like and I mean, I guess it's kind of a way to almost deter them in a way. I mean, by overplaying it, by just overshadowing like what it really does. And they also spoke out about like how they hated that Manson was blamed for Columbine, and the speech Manson gave for Columbine was brilliant. I actually read that speech out loud in my speech class in college. That was my celebrity speech I did. So, and it actually got rave reviews from people in the class. So, and I got to curse. So, fuck yeah. But my number two was Stands Against Us, because I think that's actually like a good wedding song almost. Like that's a song about love. Like that song's fucking amazing. And my number one song is there's a music video for this song even too that's fucking incredible. I love this song. It's a song that got me into Team Death. Number one song is Children of the Grave, because it has one of my favorite fucking rap groups ever, Dark Half, on it, and fucking just that song is incredible. That's kind of the Team Death stuff I like the most, is when they do this type of shit. Fucking great flow, great beats, and just they bring on amazing guest stars from other labels like LSP. So R.I.P. to one half of Dark Half. But yeah, we miss you, buddy. We miss that voice. What the fuck? I can't think of his fucking name in this second, but it'll come to me, I'm sure. But Harley, what were your top 5 for Team Death?
My number 5 was Put It Down. Number 4 was So Full of Hatred. Number 3 was Not Like You. Number 2 was Ghostly Confessions. And then my number 1 was Stands Against Us. And then I have some honorable mentions: Children of the Grave and Horns Up.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Horns Up. Just not a good intro track in my mind for them. They've done better. Chancey, unleash the Kraken.
So my 2 honorable mentions are actually 2 songs that I enjoyed. I thought they were cool because of the kind of a more EDM style track that they had to it, and that was Femicide, and I'm just gonna call it RR. Fucking, they can look up the track list if they want to look at it. So number 5 for me was Playing Columbine, and I took the opposite take from it, from like them trying to do this as an overplay. It just seemed, honestly, it seemed like something that was like, if they are like, I was one of those kids that actually kind of got that stigma when it happened, because I was in like middle school when that shit happened. And a lot of times, if you got caught up because of something you listened to and then somebody heard you fucking listening to that, that's a 90-day mandatory right there, because you just got caught up listening to some shit that's literally just fucking, hey, I'm saying and I understand that there's more to the message than that, but I mean, literally, when you're hearing it, it's just like, I'm saying this shit just to say this shit because it's fucking twisted and it's gonna sell. Number 4 for me was So Full of Hatred. It was like, it was all right. It wasn't bad as far as the worst of the worst go. Number 3 was Children of the Grave, but I really should put Children of the Grave in number 2 because fucking .98 is so fucked up, like so fucked up. And that's why I said, when you were talking about how the other song is talking about aborting Jesus, they're literally talking about pedo and Jesus, dude. That's fucked up. That's so fucked up. That's why, nah, dude, Death would be better. That's fucked up. And then for me, Ghostly Confessions was pretty good too, so I put that on the list at number 1. But fucking, this one fucking fell to earth, and the chute did not open, dude. Just fucking, there were no.
It was really hard to listen to this album all the way through.
There were no survivors.
Like, I'm sitting there at work trying to listen to this, and I'm like, fuck. What the fuck?
I was listening to it at work, fucking headbanging to it.
But I work with old people, so
I used to work with old people and I used to blast this in my car on lunchtime. Fucking blasting playing Columbine get you some looks. But I could have brought the other album where Razakel raps about pagan satanic.
I mean, at least that would be something else.
I mean,
I mean,
all the songs kind of sounded the same. They all
agreed.
Like, it didn't really have much to it, but they were all like the same sounding song. It just kind of bled together.
The beats are
Same
different every
sound.
fucking song. The beats are different every fucking song.
But the flow was the same. You could pretty much set a metronome to it. It just
I don't know. I like their flow. I always have. That's why I got into them. But yeah, but I guess that brings us down to what I may call the strangest, what I would call the strangest fucking CD on this episode for damn sure, and that would be Sir Chancelot's random ass album. Chancey, what random ass album did you decide to bring?
dude, I brought the first rock star. I brought the first rock star. That is Hank Williams, Your Cheating Heart. Fucking, it's Hank Williams, dude, for real. Like, I'm surprised I hadn't brought it any sooner. And I was like, you know what? Fucking, boop. You know how I do it. Pull up my YouTube music. Shuffle. All right. Well, it'll do. Fucking one of the first members of the 27 Club. I mean, it is, you know, he's a fucking legend. Love him or hate him.
Did it? Well, I'll wait till my turn for this. But Harley, what did you think of Mr. Williams?
I honestly have nothing negative to say about this because I grew up in Oklahoma and Hank Williams was my grandfather's favorite singer, so nothing negative.
I mean, I'll say there's not much negative I can say about Hank Williams. I mean, his voice is kind of annoying as shit, but that's the only thing that annoys the fuck out of me is his voice. Like, but I mean, wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. I mean, the fucking title track I think of this album is on our next Rolling Stone bracket part, and I know there's another. I actually just saw the other day. There's another song from this album that's on another part coming up. So I mean, everybody knows who Hank Williams is. He's definitely got popularity in the world, and he's definitely a fucking legend, in the music industry. But I just some of the I learned some new songs. I knew a lot of these songs already, but it's just not something I ever would go listen to on my own, really. But just no. I mean, country went, God, old ass country, like older than Johnny Cash and Elvis country shit, like old country. So,
But that's
yeah.
when country was good, though. Was the old country.
I don't know. It reminds me too much of a fucking Sunhouse type shit sometimes, but yeah, you fucker. But Jancy, what were your top 5 for Hank?
Number 5 for me was Lovesick Blues. I love that in Shawshank, you know, because he finally talks him into getting all that shit, and they give him a record collection, and that guy's just sitting there finally getting to listen to Hank Williams. And then number 4 is Jambalaya. Jambalaya. Fucking love that shit, dude. Number 3 for me was I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, because I mean, it's a good song on its own, but I also like Volbeat's cover of it. They did a very good job with it as well. If you haven't heard it, I would highly recommend checking it out. Number 2 is just, you know, it's iconic. It's Hey Good Looking.
That's funny.
What? It's a great song. And number one is fucking Your Cheating Heart, dude. That is iconic. Fucking Your Cheating Heart. Just fucking, you go into it. You don't even got to try.
Oh my god. Okay, you just sparked a fucking memory in me, kind of. Uh,
Oh shit.
you know what Hank Williams sounds like when he sings? When they
What's
tried to
that?
sing country. When they tried to sing country on Cat Dog.
Yeah, I mean that's probably because they're trying to emulate that sound. Like,
Like that's literally all I hear is the fucking greaser singing country.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what your impersonation of Hank Williams just did for me. But
I'm glad I could help.
yeah. But Harley, what were your top five?
My number 5 was I'm So Lonely I Could Cry. My number 4 was I Saw the Light. Number 3 was Cold, Cold Heart. Number 2 was Ramblin' Man. And number 1 was Hey Good Looking. Then my honorable mentions are You Win Again and Your Cheating Heart.
See, I fucking hate your cheating heart. I hate the way he sings that. But it just annoys the fucking shit out of me. But my number five, I had no honorable mentions for this fucking album, but getting five was easy, hard enough, hard enough. I had to fucking count at the end and be like, all right, I got five already. Yeah, I'm good. All right. But my number
That's how we
five was
felt
long.
about your album.
Yeah, you both had honorable mentions, so fuck off. But my number
Yeah,
five.
yeah.
No matter your intentions, chance you still had them. So, but
I mean,
uh,
I separated them because it's like, listen, these ones are okay. The rest of this is trash.
well, Jesus. Number five for me though was "Long Gone, Lonesome Blues" because that actually is a good track. I kind of don't think I've heard before. I might have. I don't know. A lot of his songs sound the same. But number four was "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry" because that's a fucking legendary song. I don't really like it that much, but it's legendary. Number three was "Setting the Woods on Fire" because that's a new one to me. I never heard that fucking song, and that was actually pretty good. Number two had to be, of course, and this is why I laugh, Chancy, the iconic "Hey Good Looking," because who doesn't know that opening fucking line? Who doesn't know that shit? I've done that shit to my wife walking into the house for when I get home from work and shit. So, but I always add in the bedroom at the end. You know, you have to. But my number one was Jambalaya, because I never heard that fucking song before, and I fucking love Jambalaya, and that's a fucking amazing song. So now I want some jambalaya after listening to that song. But I swear to God, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, God damn it, I want jambalaya, and I don't know any place around here that makes it. God fucking damn it. Why can't I live in the South? But, so, I mean, yeah, Jambalaya on the Bayou was a damn good song. Kind of remind me of, almost had, fuck, we did, yeah, Chuck Berry, Havana Moon vibes, kind of. Kind of. Not the same guitar by any means, but definitely vibes.
Right.
But, so, but yeah, Hank Williams was old Hanky Boy was not horrible. I'll say not horrible. I could deal with it. But except for your cheating heart, that song's just horrible. Like just horrible. His voice makes me want to punch my computer screen. But uh, oh, there you go, folks. We talked about three albums rather quickly, I'll say, but we had to talk about these three, and yeah, it is what it is. But we hear us talk about a lot of songs. Check out the Rolling Stone bracket parts every 2 weeks. They release two parts behind the ones we're recording, but still they're always there to watch on all the places we are. And we also have a 90s possibly bracket coming up on the Asylum next month, so that's going to be interesting. And ICP's on it, I've been told by an inside source, so you can't do 90s rap talking about ICP. You just can't. You just can't.
It's been
And
hard picking the 90s songs because there's so many.
well, that's why most people look for rankings. But just saying.
Oh, that's what I did, but still.
But you wouldn't have ICP if you did rankings. So I know you did some
Exactly.
special editing. But the world is fucked. But Harley, where can they find you?
The Asylum with Harley and Joker every Sunday night, 8 Eastern Time, and also the Mod Squad Network, where we have a horror show, a movie show, a gamer show, and we go live every Saturday night at 8 Eastern.
Yes, there's a Mod Squad show for every day of the week. But, Chanty, where can they find you besides the deepest pits of despair?
On TikTok and Instagram, it's the Red Eye Roundtable, and on X, it's Red Eye Table, and then the Void.
True. And the contest does continue, folks. Chancey needs to be forced to bring out another album of some kind, so try to find him if you dare. I check Horrorwood first, but you can, of course, find both your musers on Facebook as the Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed Podcast Collective, U Cubed. You can find us on X and the Gram as at Juggalo Bastard. You can find us on TikTok as at Juggalo Bastard Podcast. And you can find us on YouTube as Maniacal Musings. And, of course, you can find us streaming live on Parapost Network on Facebook, a great place for all podcasts and vodcasts. And you could find us as part of Blind Knowledge Network, because all knowledge is blind until you play with the children of the grave for a night. That sounded worse than I thought it did. But be sure to come back in a week and a half and check out the next part of the Rolling Stone Top 500 Songs bracket. I believe we're going to part 9 now, and there ain't many parts left, actually. We got through these a lot faster than I thought we would since we speed up how often we do them, so I got some other shit lined up afterwards, don't worry, folks. But it's still a while till we gotta worry about that. It's all coming. Giggity. And your muses are out for the night. We thank Harley for coming on, of course, because once I'm a co-host of anybody, I have to get them on the show solo at least once, so it was bound to happen eventually, and it only took about a month. So, yay. But come check us out next week. We have another great guest coming. No idea what albums yet, but we'll see. Until then, users